Then after checking out all of those functions one by one, the way we did, a thing that definitely needs to be done is for me to try and mix and match all of those functions. I usually try and do that with testing. In the case of the lender contract, we have a small testing suite here. So I'll simply make a new test. I'll make a new test and simply try and mix and match the functions. I will first run them one by one with some predetermined outcomes. Like I will simply get one of the scenarios from here, like the repay scenario. I'll copy it. I'll see what it spits out when it's by itself, and then I'll try and mix it with something else and see whether it breaks that way. I'll also try and think for some edge case scenarios that may pop up. Let's say that there is some case where we don't need to pay fees or something like that. We definitely need to check mainly the if statements, because they're usually the most problematic, like false assumptions. But this is the main stuff I do when checking the functions one by one and then trying to mix and match them. And after this phase ends, in a sense, I try and mix all of the contracts that interact with each other. So we have the staking contract here. I believe we're not referencing it, or are we?
Kristian, would you also try to make some, usually would you do a diagram, or would you benefit from doing that, or you don't usually do them?
I don't use diagramming tools, but I do have a whiteboard on my wall that I do everything on. This is definitely something very useful, but it largely depends on the protocol. Because let's say if it's this size, yes, I will definitely make a diagram for it, and I will try and map all the functions of the contracts, like the ones that actually do stuff with value. But if it's something very, very big, I would limit myself to pieces of logic and not to the whole system, just because it may take too much time for what it will bring.
Yeah, and how about the static analysis tools like Mithril or Slither? Do you make use of them?
No, I do not. I mainly rely on writing dumb tests in Foundry or Hard Hat, depending on what they have, and to manual review, because you will not extract that much value from using machines as well, at least from what I've seen. A very important thing that needs to happen right after checking all of the functions one by one and mixing them inside of the contract is for us to try and look at the big picture and see how this contract, for example, integrates with the fees contract, which then integrates with the staking contract. From what I got, the fee receiver contract right here is the fees contract right here. So whenever we send tokens to the fee receiver, we're actually sending them to this contract. And we can see that this has no access control. So tokens can be sent to the fee receiver and then to the staking contract without any notice or control. So the scenario for extracting value right before a token deposit to the staking contract happens is very real. I mean, we can basically coordinate whenever tokens enter the staking contract, just because we can call this thing whenever we want. So this is definitely a concern and sort of a vector that we can look at. We can also try and see whether any other external factors would influence the lender contract, because it has the most meat to it. we know that the tokens that we are going to borrow and loan, like the tokens that we are going to loan out and the tokens that are going to be used as collateral, are going to be basically arbitrary. So we need to think again about the owed fee on transfer issue and the rebasing tokens, because they're definitely very real in this case, because there isn't any basically safety when interacting with them in this case.
Yeah, that's looking so good until now, Christian. That's amazing. I mean, the way you approach this, the way you analyze it, it's. I mean, yeah, I think there's so much gold there. There's so many advices, and yeah, it's super interesting to see you going through this. There is just this question I wanted to ask, because I mean, you are super confident going through this. I don't know if it's because you've already gone through it, or because you just well you are obviously very good at it. So what I'm wondering is what happens when you actually are going through some part, some piece of code, some line, some logic that you're lost, that you just don't understand. Like there's a part, there's I don't know some math there, or something that you don't understand. What is your go-to tool, or person, or what do you do? Because it's something, well, that it happens, that it's common, and I'm interested. I'm curious how is it that you approach that situation, or if you have any situation like that often, or what did you do at the beginning when you were facing more often those cases?
Everyone has a lot of those situations. It's completely normal to not know something, and there's a few things that you can do. The first thing is to reference the code's documentation. This is the first thing that you need to do. If it doesn't contain a satisfying answer, just go. Don't be afraid and ask the protocol team, either in the public channel of the contest or in a DM or something. Try and not waste their time, of course. Have like some very concise questions. Be thorough in what you need to and want to know, and don't waste their time. Try to be as
Precise, maybe
thorough.
accurate, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Just try and do that. If that doesn't work as well, also maybe try and leave the issue for a bit. Maybe research it, but if it isn't something particularly widely available, like let's say some solidity concept or something, just go take a walk, return back, and you may have the answer just by leaving it for a bit. This is another thing that you can do. You can also probably ask fellow researchers if they know about a specific thing, but with contests it's a little different because everyone can steal each other's findings. So
Yeah.
try to be as abstract as you can if you don't want to get duplicated.
I'm wondering how many of those people that were on Twitter raising a kind of CTF, that maybe it was a doubt that they had, and they asked someone to they asked people to find the bug, and then they would probably not, but anyways. But yeah, thanks for that. It's actually true that the developers are always, or are supposed to always be there, but of course you need to go with some concrete, something specific. Okay, thank you, Christian. So how about you show us a bit of the findings that you raised? Uh, if I don't remember, if I don't remember wrongly, I think you got around 1,000 ish dollars from that. So it would be interesting, after seeing your analysis, what was the most the valid issues that you raised, and where is the money? Like, let's see what issues are the ones that are rewarded properly.
Let me share it. Yeah, so this is all of the issues that I submitted to the contest.
It's a lot of highs.
So I've got like 4 that didn't get validated at the end.
Okay.
And yeah, it seems like a lot of highs, but most of them didn't actually bring a lot of money. You see in a little bit. Again, the issues that are present here, we can see the thing that we talked about in the fees. This is that it's only trading in the 0.3% fee pool.
Nice.
And it got us 55 cents. As I said, it isn't worth your time.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a type of issue that people just don't need to bother reporting, because it probably took me much more than a minute to write. And as you can see, it didn't yield me almost any money, so why bother? And this is some sort of a medium that got downgraded, I believe. And again, we've got 30 cents for it. We've also got a selected for report, which got us a grand total of $11.
Yay.
But those are not as interesting. Like, again, I talked about lower decimals. And we see that it generated not that big of an amount of money, but it's still okay for the time it took me to write it. But it's still not very substantial. Then we can skip those two because they didn't get paid. We can restart the loans period. Again, the thing that I mentioned before, it got us another $40. Again, not substantial, but it's fine. Then I believe this was a solo medium, which was talking about the malicious pool creation or something. We've got 400 of it, which is fine, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing was not that like trivial, but it was sort of present in. I mean, a lot of people already know about it, but it still got rewarded with kind of a good amount of money for what it is. Then we've got, again, the router doesn't get approved. This is one of the very dumb highs that I didn't even need to bother reporting. And we can see that it got us only $9. It took me probably like 30 minutes to write out, so not very useful. Slippage, sandwich attacks. Yeah, this is what the unspecified slippage finding yields you. A grand total of less than $1, of less than a cent actually.
I was so happy when I raised the. I think I didn't raise as many high as you definitely, but I raised a few and I was so happy that I'm like, oh my god, probably they are very, very easy to see, but oh my god, yeah, I'm raising a few highs. That's so cool. But yeah, and that's what you're saying. It's kind of visible and common to raise.
This had like 200 duplicates, I believe.
Wow.
So very bad. Batch hierarchy, what is this? I'm sorry, just a sec. Holy shit.
No worries.
What the hell is happening?
Take some water.
Fucking COVID, man.
COVID?
I believe so, yeah.
Damn. You've been affected? Or you're still now?
No, this is like the fifth time I go through it.
Damn.
Oh shit, my voice changed, just a second. Holy shit. I'm better now.
Okay.
Yeah. So batch share accounting allows for sandwich attacks when what gets filled in as a reward for stakers. This is the one that I was talking about, like Amy being the what reward mechanism, and it got $100, which is definitely good. Then we get WEF deposited before the contract gets any stake tokens can get permanently locked. Again, this is the way they're doing the share accounting. And we got $900 for it. This is, I believe, one of the higher paying highs. I believe it had like 2 or 3 duplicates. It actually had 2 duplicates. With me and Bernd, the guy that got first place. Then we got, I essentially had 3 findings that were self-duplicates of one another, like this one, and this one, which got kind of, I mean, the judging was kind of strange on them, and also the fact that they were self-duplicates of each other was kind of broke the way that the reward mechanism works and the way that the report mechanism works. So they like we hit some sort of an edge case with the reward calculation bot that they had in place. Then we've got this one, which got $135, and this one got $0 as well. So we've got those three, those here that don't bring almost any money. I mean, those are again the ones that got. This is, for example, the one that is about the debt getting subtracted twice, and it got 20 cents. So it's not worth your time, essentially.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Then we get that the collateral ratio doesn't get checked when buying an auction loan. This one got like a good amount of money for it. I mean, it's a simple check, I believe, that needed to be put in place so that a loan cannot be taken in some scenario. And then we got loan ratio lacks precision for pairs of flow decimal tokens, and we got $3 for it. Again, the issues regarding decimals and like different tokens and Uniswap, I mean, they're very trivial and people don't pay that much for them. So the things that pay the most money, as you saw, are issues like this one that are directly tackling the internal balances and logic of the contract, like the business logic of the contract itself, and not like things that you can basically probably even pattern match. I mean, you can definitely still get some sort of small reward for them. Like you can probably get a few $100 if you do it on a contest with a lot of lines of code. But I don't see it as something profitable that is worth your time if you want to like find bugs constantly.
Okay, nice, Kristian. Wow, I think well, for everyone that wants to know more about those bugs, they are meant to be public, so you can check the report on CodeHawks. But yeah, okay. So I think you've been super helpful. So thanks a lot for doing this. I think I think this is going to be very useful. Like not having anymore just asking people for what are they approach, but actually going through this. Not simulating it because we were actually reviewing it and analyzing. But going through the audit, like what they call the shadow audit, it's super useful for everyone actually, because it's interesting to see the different way of approaching and actually what I found interesting the fact and true the fact that you're saying that maybe don't lose that much time when you run a public contest when you see something that is very obvious, because it's most likely not going to be paid off, and if you need to lose too much time with it, then it might not be worth it unless you don't find anything else, and it would always make you feel better probably. But yeah, I mean, thanks a lot. Everyone knows that knows you, and those that don't, then I will leave your link to your Twitter. But everyone knows that you're performing amazing, and you're super useful for. You're super useful. You're very like there's a lot of value on your content. I'm aware that you're trying to bring even more, and there's for sure more coming, as I heard. So yeah, thanks a lot, and I appreciate a lot your time with this. So yeah, so to everyone, thanks for watching this. And yeah, if you like it, then of course like the video, subscribe, because I'm planning to have this kind of videos updated more often, because I find this very useful for you guys. Okay, so take care,
It
guys.
was my pleasure. Thank you.
And thanks, Kristian. Bye. Okay.